On the hour, rugbyleague.com news. Brought to you by Thomson Reuters, the global leader for news.
Coming up, Cronulla as Sharks warm up for the playoffs, rolling the Bulldogs. Titans get off the bottom of the table as the Panthers down the Dragons. And hello Tiger from Catalans as Wigan keep the pressure on the Robins. But first up, in the NRL game that you may have heard live and free on rugbyleague.com, thanks to our mates at the Continuous Call team, Cronulla Sutherland outgunned the Bulldogs 24 points to 6. That was after the Sharkies were doing it nicely at the break, up 18-0 at Accor Stadium. 6 minutes into the second stanza, Canterbury's comeback, or so we thought, began, thanks to Anari Tuala, who raced almost the length of the field to get his side on the board. But that was followed by a try to Cronulla's fill-in number 6, Daniel Atkinson. And with 21 to play, Nico Hines added the extras to again give his team an 18-point buffer. Post-match, a concern for the Sharks with Hines on report for a hip drop, whilst for the Dogs, plenty of soul-searching after that one. Earlier on the Gold Coast, Des Hasler's Titans scored 24 unanswered points to finish over the top of the Tigers at Robina in what was Hasler's final game in charge, as well as a swan song for the retiring Kieran Foran. Gold Coast won 36-28 after the visitors led 28-12 at half-time. That result means the Gold Coast no longer in the basement and they will avoid the wooden spoon, providing that Parramatta, playing at home, get the win against Newcastle on Sunday afternoon in the final game of the regular season. And four-time defending champions Penrith are getting ready for the playoffs after brushing aside St George Illawarra 40 points to 20 in Wollongong. The Panthers up 22-6 at half-time. Looking ahead for week one of the finals, Canberra welcome the Broncos, Melbourne at home to the Dogs, and in the sudden death matches, Cronulla hosting the Roosters, and in Auckland, it's the Warriors v Panthers. In the Queensland Cup on the opening day of the finals, on the Gold Coast, minor premiers Burleigh defeating winner Manly 22-14. At Bishop Park, Norths down the Townsville Blackhawks 24-12. And at KO, Redcliffe crushed the PNG Hunters 32 points to 12. In the New South Wales Cup, the defending premiers Newtown can start planning for next season on the opening day of the finals. At Cogra, Canberra beat the Jets 24-20. And in their qualifying final at the same venue, the Dragons 24, Parramatta 18. In Sydney's Ron Massey Cup, went he through to the grand final against St Mary's after defeating Wright Eastwood 26-10 at Leichhardt. And in Country Rugby League, a couple of grand finals have been decided in Queensland's Tropics. Firstly, in Cairns, the minor premiers Brothers, they beat the sentimental favourites Suburbs, the boys from Menunda winning 18-12 at Barlow Park. And that was after Brothers were leading 18-0 early in the second half. And in Mackay at BB Prince Stadium, Big Spending Souths 24-6 over Brothers. In the UK, in Super League player signing news, Catalan Dragons have announced the acquisition of Josh Simm from Castleford, the 24-year-old outside back, relocating to Perpignan after signing a 2-year contract. On the field, defending champions Wigan have kept the pressure on table-topping Hull KR, the Warriors winning their Friday night game at St Helens 18-4. After leading 12-4 at the break. And across the Pennines, Cass 26-22 winners at home against Wakefield after the Tigers led 14-10 at half-time. Coming up, the game that we're calling live and free on rugbyleague.com, Warrington hosting Lee with kick-off at 3 p.m. local time. That's midnight for our audience down under, up and down the eastern seaboard. And at the same time, a couple of games in League One, Workington at Goole and the Crusaders at Whitehaven. And after they kick off, we have the London Broncos at home to the Bradford Bulls in the Championship, and also in the second tier in the south of France, Toulouse v Batley. Those games starting at 4 p.m. and 5 p.m. UK time, respectively. In Women's Super League, which has been rocked by Warrington's decision to quit the league before the season is even finished, Wigan 24-20 over Saints in the only game played on Friday. And finally, the French Rugby League Federation has announced a new partnership with Shilton, which means they've become the official outfitter of the French national teams, starting with next month's World Cup qualifier against Jamaica. I'm Jason Costigan, and that's latest in news on rugbyleague.com.